One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime
insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason.
Why did Jeffrey Epstein purchase 330 gallons of sulfuric acid in 2018?
Wants to hang out with you next week, and I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to f you. That's what my assistant said.
Sick things.
They killed them, they dismembered them, they cut up their intestines, and they took the feces out, and they ate it.
The drama surrounding Hollywood's darkest accusations has never truly disappeared. It just waits in the shadows, resurfacing whenever a new document drops, a new name trends, or an old warning suddenly sounds less crazy than it once did. At the center of this storm now is a story that feels almost too disturbing to process. One that stretches from Jeffrey Epstein's private dealings to Mel Gibson's long-standing claims about corruption in the entertainment industry.
There's a 16-year-old girl. She had some diary entries, written in code.
And even to Terrence Howard's warnings about what really happens behind closed doors. Human trafficking is not a conspiracy theory. It is a documented global crisis. But what ignites public fury is the idea that powerful elites, billionaires, celebrities, cultural icons, may have been connected to networks that exploited the vulnerable. When Epstein's files resurfaced in headlines again, people didn't just see paperwork. They saw confirmation of fears they had buried for years.
So-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track.
18. Well, he damn well wasn't cleaning his pool. Sulfuric acid is a highly corrosive chemical that can be used.
Among the details that sent shockwaves through the internet was the revelation that Epstein had reportedly purchased 330 gallons of sulfuric acid in 2018. Sulfuric acid is not a casual household item. It's a corrosive chemical capable of destroying biological evidence. The timing of that purchase, coinciding with legal scrutiny, only fueled speculation that something far more sinister was being concealed. The files also referenced disturbing emails and coded language that many interpreted as evidence of depraved acts. Some allegations went so far as to describe diary entries from a 16-year-old girl who claimed she was abused and impregnated, only to have her child taken from her. These claims remain deeply contested and legally complex, but the emotional weight of such stories has left the public shaken.
and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime
is to melt bone and destroy biological evidence.
More emails about torture.
When people hear accounts like that, it's no longer gossip. It's horror. For years, Mel Gibson has insisted that Hollywood harbors darkness most people would refuse to believe. Once dismissed as unstable or paranoid, Gibson's past interviews are now being replayed with fresh ears. In resurfaced footage, he describes arriving in Hollywood as a young outsider and sensing something deeply wrong: attitudes, behaviors, an unspoken understanding that compromise was expected. At the time, he questioned his own instincts, wondering if he was imagining it. But later he claimed he realized some of his worst nightmares weren't imagination at all. Whether one agrees with him or not, the tone of those interviews carries something raw.
He's him with the gift of a man. Come to me! I'm listening to the...
And these coded conversations still have a very clear topic.
A man describing a system he believes is morally decayed. Gibson put his money where his mouth was when he helped bring Sound of Freedom to life in 2018, a film centered on child trafficking networks operating across borders. The project struggled to find funding. According to Gibson, it wasn't about profit. It was about awareness. He has repeatedly framed the fight against trafficking as a moral obligation, not a political statement. To supporters, this makes him a whistleblower. To critics, it makes him a provocateur. But either way, the timing of renewed Epstein revelations has caused many to revisit Gibson's warnings with uncomfortable curiosity.
To carry that to term, and they let her keep the for a few minutes.
Terrence Howard has now stepped into the conversation as well. A longtime acquaintance of Gibson, Howard has publicly credited him with helping him through personal struggles. But Howard has also made explosive claims of his own. In interviews, he has alleged that Hollywood exerts pressure on actors, particularly black men, to compromise their masculinity in exchange for opportunity. He described invitations from powerful figures that made him uncomfortable, implying that refusing certain advances came with professional consequences. His words were blunt, emotional, and deeply controversial.
always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right, but when you give up your manhood,
the torture was big. It was a big driver for them, and these were sick people doing very.
Some, they validated long-standing rumors about coercion and exploitation in the industry. For others, they were inflammatory and unproven accusations. Then there are the resurfaced tweets from celebrities like Chrissy Teigen, which critics have interpreted as disturbingly inappropriate. Though many of those posts were later deleted and explained as attempts at dark humor, they have been repeatedly pulled back into the spotlight amid renewed scrutiny of coded language like pizza, a term that became central during the 2016 Pizzagate conspiracy. That theory, widely debunked and discredited by authorities, alleged elite involvement in child exploitation rings. While no credible evidence supported its core claims, the narrative persists online, especially when high-profile scandals erupt. The truth is layered and messy. Epstein was convicted. Powerful names were associated with him. Some relationships were proven. Others remain allegations. But what complicates everything is the emotional volatility surrounding the topic.
About her experiences being and impregnated by Epstein. They forced her to...
Human trafficking is real. Abuse is real. Cover-ups have happened in history. At the same time, misinformation spreads faster than facts, and online speculation often leaps beyond what evidence supports. Now, with renewed attention on Epstein's dealings and long-buried interviews resurfacing, supporters of Mel Gibson argue that he was warning the public all along. They claim his career suffered because he challenged powerful interests. Others counter that his controversy stemmed from his own documented behavior and statements over the years. Both narratives exist simultaneously, competing for legitimacy in a culture that no longer trusts institutions to tell the full story. What's undeniable is that fear and suspicion are powerful forces. When people believe that elites operate by different rules, that justice bends for wealth and influence, trust erodes quickly. Every resurfaced clip, every cryptic interview, every deleted tweet becomes part of a larger mosaic of doubt. So where does that leave us? Are figures like Mel Gibson and Terrence Howard exposing uncomfortable truths about systemic corruption? Or are we...
Then they came in, took the baby away, ripped it away from this... and they did who knows what.
Watching a collision of legitimate crime investigations and internet-fueled exaggeration. In a world where real trafficking victims need justice, the stakes are too high for distraction, but also too high to ignore warning signs. What do you think? Was Mel Gibson unfairly targeted for speaking out, or is this narrative built on speculation amplified by social media? Do you believe Hollywood protects its own at any cost? Share your perspective in the comments below, and if you want more deep dives into the stories shaking the entertainment world, make sure you like this video and subscribe. The conversation isn't over, it's only getting louder.